For someone like Hatshepsut out in the town for a night in Egypt, you have to admit that for her, wonders, it doesn't really matter what they do. It's all that really matters for her, especially in antiquity, is that she gets seven of them. It's just about number and quantity. But of course, for all of us, it's not that simple. We have specific needs that have to be met, and we want our wonders to at least partly meet those needs. They're not meant to overwhelm the game, they're simply meant to support you in what you're trying to do. So, we're going to take a look at the new update 1.2.4, and I'm going to focus mainly on the wonders and not all the other update items that are, um, well, that are listed here. You can see we have stuff for gameplay about advisors and age transition improvements. Still working on that, which is good. Some AI improvements. Again, another good thing. Um, but I'm not going to talk about these so much. Diplomacy. Was there something there I wanted to mention? No, no. Lots of stuff about military and adjustments there, which I think I will go into, but at another time. Like I said, I just want to focus on the wonders. Although religion and ideology, that did interest me here. Just, making things a little simpler so that you could recognize who followed your religion in the exploration age or your ideology in the modern age. Just simple, like red or green. Red means hostile, green means friendly. And, that's something that I noticed as I was looking through some of the changes in Wonder Balance is that there's a real attempt here to simplify some overall effects to keep things a little simpler. And that, in some cases, involves moving away from percentages, for example, and just giving plus ones, plus twos, and keeping it very low maintenance. But those are just some overall observations. We'll take a look here now at the specific wonders and the changes that they've undergone in this update. So, with Antiquity Age Wonders, you have Bursa. It's been moved to engineering tech. Oh, well, one of the least desired wonders got nothing out of this, as far as I can tell. So, well, so long, Bursa. Sorry about that. The Colossus changed costs from 450 production to 375, so it's a little cheaper, and moved to the currency tech. Well, that could make a bit of a difference in terms of when you get it. A little earlier, that would be good because Colossus is pretty useful, but I know, speaking for myself, I hardly ever get it, not for lack of trying. Uh, Dur Sharukan added plus one science on fortifications in this settlement and increased combat bonus from plus three to plus five. Yeah, that's useful. I think overall that improves Der Shuriken. It's still not one I'm usually in the market for, I find. Although maybe a little more so than Bursa. I probably would pick this up if I had the opportunity. Another one of the least used ones that I actually, of all the least used ones, I think this is the one I like the most. Emil Bell. I was starting to really grow attached to it. So, what usually happens when that happens to you is, well, it all goes south. But here we see that it's had an added base yield of two influence. And it's changed the ginseng agreement from affecting only capitals to both players' cities. Uh-huh. The ginseng agreement now increases relationship more 10 for accept and 25 for support. Now, it is more expensive. Dang right it is. And it's moved to the citizenship civic. I mean, it's so much better now. And I already thought it was kind of okay. not my favorite, but if there was a wonder to be built and that was the only one available, I was going to take it. There's no question. And now, I mean, I'm going to probably seek it out, honestly, for that extra influence. Man, and the ginseng agreement, even, that's more interesting now than it was. And I didn't think that was possible with ginseng. But there you go. But of course, every time somebody rises, somebody else falls. The gate of all nations, yes, the gate of all nations took a hit. And we have decreased war support from 2 to 1. It was so awesome, that extra 2 support. And the added base yield of 2 happiness, it might be okay, but it seems like it's just, a coin flipped at you to help you buy a coffee. Like, really not much use that I can see at this point. So, overall, it's been knifed. The Great Stele, um, it's a, has added a base yield of 2 production. Always good. Production's always good. Change the effect to apply to wonders built in any settlement. Well, that's more interesting. The adjusted text to accurately reflect that gold scales per age. Yes, yes. We always suspected that should have been the case, and now here it is. So it's worth a lot more, at least, you know, compared to what it was. And it's been moved to mysticism, civic mastery. So overall, I think the Great Stele came out a little bit ahead there, if not a lot ahead. The Hamunga Maui changed the placement restrictions to allow any biome. Well, that's good. That's helpful. But again, not a huge change. The mausoleum at Halicarnassus added a base yield of 3 production, increased costs from 275 production to 450, and moved to ironworking tech. Overall, it was kind of a niche wonder for people who specialized in cavalry, but very useful for them. I've used it a number of times, and Charlemagne, oh, just awesome with Charlemagne. Now, adding the base yield of 3 production is good. It gives it a little more uh, general power to anybody looking to pick it up. It's not just about cavalry anymore, although it's still mostly about cavalry. Let's face it. Mundo Perdido. It changed effect to +1 science on improvements and +1 happiness on districts on tropical terrain in the settlement. Increased cost from 275 production to 375. Gone up in price. And moved to Code of Laws Civic Mastery. Overall, interesting. Um, Tropical terrain still seems to limit the effects here. And yeah, I don't know. This one doesn't really do much for me one way or the other. I pick it up now and again when I'm playing, but this isn't going to inspire me to go after it any harder. Oracle, the big disappointment for a lot of people among the wonders in antiquity. They've increased the bonus culture from narrative events from 10 to 20 per age. Okay, that's good. Added 1 wildcard attribute point. That's maybe even better, honestly. And we have plans in the works for this wonder, so stay tuned. Okay, so uh, a bit of a buff, a couple of buffs there, and that might help people be a little more enthused about Oracle that has failed to and generate a lot of enthusiasm so far. So that could be a good thing, and promising more in the future. That's kind of good too. Petra changed effect to +1 production on improvements and +1 gold on districts on desert terrain in the settlement. Yeah, I mean, Petra is one of those wonders that is kind of on the bubble for me, and this still kind of keeps it on the bubble. Um, a +1 production on improvements and +1 gold on districts on desert terrain. Wow, again, limited by desert, which, it figures for Petra. I'm not saying it shouldn't be so, but it does make it more of a niche wonder, I think. The pyramids changed effect to +1 gold in production on improvements and districts on minor and navigable river tiles in the settlement. So, in the settlement, okay. So, still, gold in production on improvements and districts. So that's good. Not buildings, but improvements and districts on minor and navigable river tiles. Still a little bit limited by geography here, um, but not in a way that's ahistorical or anything. Uh, yeah, it doesn't move me too much in its direction. But I wouldn't turn down pyramids, don't get me wrong. Hatshepsut would be really upset with me if I did. She might say she doesn't play favorites, but I think she does with the pyramids. The Sanchi Stupa change cost. I missed one thing with pyramids. Change placement and restrictions to allow any biome except tundra. Well, okay, that's okay too, but again, doesn't move the needle for me. Sanchi Stupa change cost from 375 production to 450. Move to skilled trade civic. So a net negative there because it's more expensive. But other than that, nothing really significant to report there. Wei Yang Palace moved to citizenship civic master. Well, they couldn't make it better. And I think, uh, you know, sort of neutering it a bit would ruin it. I think it's kind of perfect as it is. Exploration Age Wonders. Well, Brobadur changed ability to affect quarters in that settlement only. Um, yeah, that kind of hurts it a lot, but we all knew that was coming. I think this is an even bigger nerf than Gate of Nations, honestly. I think this might be the biggest nerf in the whole package this time, which is too bad. I like Brobadur. It was awesome in its own way, but no more, at least for the time being. Erdine Zoo reduced base culture from 4 to 2. Ouch. Changed placement restrictions to allow any biome. Yay. Decreased cost from 550 production to 400. Moved to authority civic mastery. So, a mixed bag there. I don't know what to make of this one. I rarely ever get this one. I think. Yeah, I don't think I do get it that often. And yeah, reduce base culture. Man, just what this game needs is more hits to culture. Um, change placement restrictions. Allow any biome. That's obviously good. So yeah, like I say, mixed bag. Um, Forbidden City increased base culture from 2 to 4. Again, well, this one's going in the other direction. Reduced culture and gold on fortifications from 2 to 1, but now it applies to all settlements, which I think is a net gain for sure. And to reflect that, you see an increased cost from 400 production to 550, and it's moved to the imperialism civic mastery. Okay, overall good. Forbidden City is suddenly a little more interesting. Halo Kioe uh, change constructing a building on coast terrain grants culture equal to 50% of its cost to +1 culture on water buildings. You see what I mean by simplifying? Uh, they're trying to make it, because I think the percentages could be confusing. Never mind the, per age qualification for a lot of things, although those seem to be still in place. So it's been changed to +1 culture on water buildings. Pretty simple. I don't know. I guess they're right in changing it because trying to do the math in my head. I'm not really sure if that's a plus or a minus here. I guess we'll have to figure that out as we go along. House of Wisdom. Oh, we knew this was coming too. Um, just try and get a House of Wisdom in any given game. And so they reduced the number of relics granted from 3 to 1. Ouch. I take it back. Maybe Brobidur isn't the biggest nerf in this pack. So far, I would say Gate of Nations, Brobidur, and House of Wisdom are the ones that have been hit hardest at this point. Until I look at Machu Picchu. Removed +2 resource capacity in this settlement. Changed +4 culture on gold on all buildings adjacent to this wonder to buildings gain a +1 culture and gold adjacency for mountains. I the nerf to resource capacity is absolutely a hard hit here, but I think the second one is a bit of a hit too. I'm just trying to do that in my head, and yeah, +1 culture and gold adjacency for mountains. Well, on all buildings adjacent to this wonder. Yeah, I mean, it's not a district bonus, it's a building bonus. +4 culture and gold. Yeah, overall, I think this hurts. Um, I'm pretty sure. And then change placement restrictions to allow the grassland biome. Well, okay. So you can do a little more with it in that regard. But overall, yeah, that's another hard hit one. So far, I think the nerfs have been more prominent than the buffs. Wouldn't that be a great game? Nerf versus buff. The modern age wonders. Buddhanath. Increased base influence yield from 4 to 6. Change the placement restrictions to allow the grassland biome. Well, thank you. Don't mind if I do. Another wonder that's gotten an influence buff. I like that. That really fits with how I play quite well. So I'm definitely a fan of this. But shh, don't tell them I like it too much because, you know what happens to wonders that people start to like too much. Brandenburg Gate changed. This settlement suffers no happiness penalties from war weariness, +5 happiness in conquered settlements, which is a mouthful, to +1 war support on all wars, +1 settlement limit. Again, you see what I mean? Simplifying. And I'm not sure if this works out to, because I really like that +5 happiness in conquered settlements. I mean, that was pretty decent. And +1 war support on all wars, that's okay. That's not awesome. +1 settlement limit, that's a little better. And I guess when you put the two of them together, it's not bad. It's simple. And maybe that's good in and of itself. So I don't know. I think the jury's out on this one. Brandenburg Gate, I don't know if it's benefited from this or been hurt by it. Maybe if you guys want to weigh in on this, you can. I'm not sure yet. The Eiffel Tower. Increased culture and happiness on quarters from 2 to 3. Okay, that's a good net gain. Uh, I mean, I usually go for the Eiffel Tower anyway if it's available, and I'm still on the hunt for wonders in the modern age. Um, and this might make me go for it a little more. Um, Not like Buddhanath, I mean, but I might be more tempted by the Eiffel Tower now. Hermitage changed +10% culture in cities that have a great work on display to +5 culture in cities that have a great work on display. Again, percentages, you're out. Plain numbers, you're in. That's the overriding philosophy of this update. I think. Um, let's see what else we have here. And overall hermitage, yeah, does that help you, hurt you? Um, +5 culture and city. Actually, I think overall that's better. Um, Depends, I guess. It is simpler. You're right. Simpler is better. Muzibu Azala Mapanga. Change +2 food on all lake tiles, +2 culture and happiness on lake tiles in the settlement. Again, another mouthful. To +4 culture and food on improvements and districts on lake tiles. So improvements in districts, not buildings. Um, I don't know. That doesn't seem bad. I don't think. I mean, that one seems like kind of a wash to me. But again, simpler to keep track of, maybe. And again, that in itself could be a good thing. So yeah, I'm yeah, jury's out on that one. I think maybe it's just a wash overall. Palacio de Bellas Arts removed plus 10% happiness in the city, increased happiness from great works from 2 to 3, added gain 1 artifact. Boom, gain an artifact. Well, yeah, that's simpler. I hope this wonder doesn't lose its charm as a result of this change. I think it's one that's highly sought after. Increased happiness from great works from 2 to 3 versus plus 10% happiness in this city. I'm just trying to imagine that. Um, and gain 1 artifact. Maybe that's the real gain there, is just gain 1 artifact. Um, the rest might be a wash as well. Or I think maybe the increased happiness from great works from 2 to 3 might be better overall than plus 10% happiness in the city. Hard to tell. Obviously, it depends on the number of great works you have. If we're talking about the capital here, which often we are when it comes to wonders, then, although not in the modern age, it could be any city at that point. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on whether this helped or hurt. I think the gain 1 artifact helped. Um, no matter what I think about the other changes, that certainly helps. And then we have Red Fort, added 4 production to the base yield. Sure, you know, you can't go wrong adding 4 production. It'll make it a little more popular. Um, Although in the modern age, 4 production might not amount to that much. It's it kind of reminds me of somebody trying to get a little more attention by, you know, I don't know, throwing a beach ball up in the air and wee. Yeah, it gets old fast. Added for production, I think that's the beach ball. Um, it's not really going to do much to make the red fort more attractive in the modern era. I can't see that. And of course, there are other elements here, leaders and civs. Himiko has some adjustments, and there's some UI stuff. I'm not going to get into all that. I just want to say about the wonders. Um, they're works in progress. That's what comes out of this. That the developers are constantly trying to rework the balance. That's why it's called Wonder Balance in this update. And I think it's important. The wonders are one of the more attractive parts of the game, of the franchise since the beginning. The wonders had a lot of appeal. And when you look at the changes they've made this time, I think they'll continue to have appeal. There's been some discussion about Antiquity Age Wonders kind of outshining the wonders of the exploration age and the modern era. I think that really reflects more the fact that a lot of people are only playing Antiquity Age games. Not me. I mean, I kind of range all around. But if you're going to focus on one age, you're probably going to get to know and appreciate the wonders in that age a lot more. So I don't think there's anything remarkable about that. I think there are great wonders in the exploration age and the modern era. And I don't know. I think they'll continue to tweak these and improve on them and add new ones. And, and go back here to um, what was the one? The Oracle. We have plans in the works. Well, good to have plans, and hopefully they'll do something interesting with it. Well, that's all I've got this time. I did this on the road while sick, so Um, I hope some of what I said made some sense. If you liked what you heard, leave a like or a subscribe, and I'll sign off for now. This is Civilized Raccoon signing off for now.